Good morning, my crypto peeps. This is Paul McNeil, the Crypto Curator, bringing you today's top 3 news articles in crypto. And we've got some good ones. But let's jump right over to the market so I can show you what's going on. It's not looking too great. Right now, what we're struggling with is Bitcoin being able to get back up above the 8,000, exceed that 83, 8,400 level, and then that takes us higher. But right now, we're seeing that that's presenting some significant resistance. So until that can potentially break, I think we're going to be in somewhat of a no man's land, potentially even pulling back. One article even mentioned this morning that we could possibly pull back to 6,400. Not exactly sure if I'm in line with that, but I think there is definitely some challenges ahead for this market until we can figure things out. Let's go ahead and go to our first news article of the day. SEC delays decision on VanEck SolidX ETF proposal, and they're seeking public comments. This is from the blockcrypto.com. Go to the blockcrypto.com if you want to definitely read all about that. But the big thing about this is that we continue to be, infatuated with the fact that we need an ETF, but I'm not sure we do. Melton Demirs and Jill Carlson, they talked about it on their podcast, What Grinds My Gears, and they were talking about this ETF, what the F basically. And again, with all the positive momentum we're seeing in the industry right now with the E-Trade, the TD Ameritrade, the AirX, the BACT, all these other options that are coming on board here soon, will the impact of an ETF even matter? And I'm not sure it will. So in the meantime, if you want to read more about that, like I said, go over to the blockcrypto.com, check that out. The next article is from coindesk.com. The NYSE Arca seeks rule change to list ETF backed by Bitcoin T-bills. This is a prime example. There are so many different options that are coming up on the radar, popping up, showing us that someone's going to eventually get an ETF. That's what I think, is that we got enough folks pushing Bitwise, VanEck, NYSE Arca. You've got multiple organizations pushing for ETFs. The SEC at some point, I think, will eventually approve one. In the meantime, again, this whole focus on ETFs, I think, is a little overblown. Last but not least, investinblockchain.com has an article about Seoul to putting its citizen cards, basically identification cards, on the blockchain for its 26 million population. Now, again, when they do this, this will not be with one of the public blockchains. Most likely it's going to be one that they've created. So it'll be a permissioned blockchain, not permissionless. And if you look at the end of that article, it was talking about even Microsoft is making a push into the identity space. The identity space is going to be huge. I've talked about in the past about us living in what I consider a frictionless society, and it all starts with identity on the blockchain. If we can put identity on a public blockchain, I'm not too much of a fan of a private blockchain or a permission blockchain, then what you're going to see is the ability for us to interact with IoT items or devices based on the fact that it identifies who we are, and that identification can't be faked or falsified. So if I were to walk into a Starbucks, Starbucks would recognize Paul's here. It might even have my order history, potentially could know what I would want on that day, have that particular drink ready for me. I pick it up. That's automatically paid for out of my cryptocurrency wallet, and out the door I go. So things of that nature is what I think will ultimately happen. All right, what I want you listening to today is the Unchained podcast with Shin, talking about how to trade crypto exchanges without fear of hacks. Sharon Goldberg, CEO of Arwin and Boston University computer science professor, describes how the protocol enables people to trade on crypto exchange without making their coins vulnerable to exchange hacks. If you want to know more about that, please go over to unchainedpodcast.com. Check out Laura Shin. I will jump back on so that I can tell you folks, hey, it's Tuesday. Have a great Tuesday. Enjoy yourself and get ready for my favorite day, Wednesday, home.